Hey, it's Mallory. Exciting news! I'm hosting the Engage Summit in Raleigh on June 25th and 26th, and I'd love to meet you there. Together, we'll dive into the mind of the modern student, what fires them up, how they interact, and what they expect in today's digital age, and how tools like AI help put them in the driver's seat of their education. We have some terrific speakers, including our closing keynote, New York Times bestselling author Jeff Selingo. Sessions will dig into practical ideas and innovative strategies to get your team more student-centered and ready to adopt AI. And many of your favorite Enrollify hosts are presenting too, like Jamie Hunt, Jenny Lee Fowler, and Brian Gross. Use the discount code Enrollify50 for an extra $50 off your registration. Learn more and register at engage.element451.com. We can't wait to see you there.
Welcome to The Application, a podcast focused on actionable takeaways to help you level up your marketing and enrollment management game. I'm your host, Dr. Allison Tercio, Assistant Vice President of Enrollment and Marketing at Siena College. Join me every Tuesday for discussions with some of the best minds in higher ed marketing and enrollment management. The Application is part of the Enrollify Network, a robust collection of podcasts designed to help higher ed professionals like you grow. Explore our other shows at enrollify.org or check out some of my personal faves linked in the show notes below. Enrollify is made possible by Element 451, the leading AI-powered all-in-one student engagement platform, helping institutions create meaningful, personalized, and engaging interactions with students. Learn more at element451.com. Today, we're diving into some groundbreaking marketing tactics and the secrets behind record-breaking enrollment numbers. Joining us is a very special guest, Adam Stoltz, Director of Enrollment Marketing at University of Idaho. University of Idaho, a public land grant research university that's older than the state itself, had its largest incoming class ever in the fall of 2022 and second largest in the fall of 2023. Adam, it's a pleasure to have you on the show, and I'm so excited to explore how you all made that happen.
Yeah, Allison, excited to talk to you about it, and thanks for the quick introduction.
What are you guys doing that's attracting students and retaining students?
When I first got here in 2019, we've seen a lot of silos, and I think that's one of the things that we see in higher ed quite often. And really just starting to have the conversations about how can we help each other? How can we get those best students? How can you help me? How can I help you? And really just having those big picture discussions. The all tides raise all boats type of mentality, I think, is really, really important. And I think that's kind of where we had started with some of that mindset. And, at first people would not, I don't know if I really want to follow. I don't know if I really want to collaborate. And that's okay. You find, I think there's a 60-20-20 rule where you have your 20% of the population that wants to help you and is really like a go-getter. And then you have the 60 who are kind of like, I'm okay either way. And then you have the other 20% who's like, I'm not going to do anything with you. In my higher ed experience, find those the top 20% that want to go with you. And then all of a sudden your 60s start becoming part of that top 20. That's just a really important aspect where I can't do all this by myself. The team is so important. And the larger team and finding those who want to collaborate and do the things together, I think are just super important. And so really it kind of comes from the mindset of, let's talk about like, how can we change culture? How can we change what we're doing? And how do we get everyone on the same page? And then ultimately you get people on the same page and you start winning. And when you start winning, people want to get on that bandwagon with you. And then you get more people on the bandwagon with you, and you just kind of keep going and you keep going with it. And ultimately, we have a great campus. And so that's the easy part. We have a great campus, and getting people here and doing all the things to get people here. Once they're here, that they fall in love with it. And so like one of the first things that I did when I got to the University of Idaho was we didn't have an online presence for like a virtual tour. And so that was one of the first things that we kind of put together, and we can't afford it. We can't do it. People are just going to come here no matter what. And it's like, well, and this was right before March of 2020. I don't remember what happened then, but ironically, right in February is when our tour came out, and then COVID hit. And it really kind of helped us get through the difficult times of COVID because people were still visiting us. I think we had like 15,000 plus visitors to our virtual tour as an example. But it wouldn't happen if we hadn't a collaborative effort because, again, people are like, I don't know if we can afford it. And so what I ended up doing is I found collaboration on campus with our strategic enrollment management area, our central marketing office, and our facilities. So like housing, residence life, dining, things of that nature. And then also our international office. So we had kind of like a four-way partnership to get that and get it paid for and get it taken care of. And ultimately all those areas were represented. And to me, it felt like perfect timing, unfortunately, in the unperfect world that we were in. But it kept us enrollment kind of steady. And then coming out of it, really, people just kind of kept coming and coming. And then we ended up having those record enrollments in fall of 22 and 23. And looking really good for fall of 24, knock on wood there.
Yeah, especially with all the FAFSA things happening this year. So that's a great position to be in, for sure. It sounds like you were able to bring people together around a specific project, in this case, the virtual tour. So do you think that bringing people to the table around a specific project or initiative is a way in the door? Is that a way to establish this collaborative effort?
Yeah, it definitely was a foot in the door for us. I think what happened next was, like I said, that tour, we kicked it off essentially in February, right before COVID hit. But right when as COVID was hitting, people realized, oh, this is a good first step. And it was a big win. And it was a big deal for our campus to have a virtual tour. It's something that we've been talking about prior to I got there for, I think, 5 or 10 years. It just never happened. But when it did, people started trusting us and trusting me to kind of get things done. It helped bring us even closer together during COVID. And our team, our enrollment marketing team, won an award for our COVID enrollment marketing. Basically, it was featured on one of a blog about how we responded to it. And part of the reason we were able to respond to that is because I had collaborated with so many different people on campus that we were able to do kind of a full outreach and get things moved to the web and like things virtually hosted. So we had the tour, but we also had video content for the colleges and other areas like residence life. Something that would have taken us like 2, 3, even maybe 6 months to do. We did it in less than a week. And so we had all this like virtual propped up information for our incoming students in regards to, this is our COVID response because we might not know where we're going to be. We moved all of like our admitted stuff, our student information that we normally would have in person online within a week. And so all video content and just kind of next steps, and really just it was a place for people to go. But that also helped us too, because essentially, like people are like, oh, we'll only be out for a day or two, maybe a week. And at that time is like, no, I think it's going to be a bigger deal. And I remember like one office in particular was like, can I just come in on Monday or next Monday? And I was like, no, we need to do it today. And it kind of helped it. The silver lining of COVID for us was it brought more collaboration because people were over their heads. It was just too much to take on. And with that, that's kind of where you almost had to collaborate. It kind of forced the hand of being more collaborative. It was another win on top of another win. And, we just kind of kept doing the things, and then more people trust you. And then when more people trust you, then you have more opportunities to do things. And it really just kind of continued on. And we kind of weathered that storm through COVID. And then really, like I was saying earlier, is those fall 22 and fall 23 classes we've had 2 record classes in a row and really looking good for 24 as well.
Are there other projects or collaborative initiatives that have come since then? So what are some of the actions and what are some of the innovative things that you've all implemented in a collaborative way to get those two big classes in 2022 and 2023.
Yeah. So another one that we've worked on essentially is our admissions packet. This is the second year we've been doing it. So what happens when you, I always talk about like winning the Super Bowl or winning the World Series. Well, can you go win it again next year? So if you have a record class, it's kind of expected to go get another record and then win it again and win it again. We completely rehauled it 2 years ago. This is our second year of it. Bigger and better than ever. That's kind of how we kind of frame it. But what it is all admitted students receive like a poly bag, and then there's a video player in it. And it's congratulating on their admission to the university. There's a flyover 360 type of video, a couple keychains in there, an opportunity for them to kind of showcase it virtually and socially. And we also included the parents within this admissions packet. We did a little sweatband that said, "Don't sweat it. Your future vandals in good hands," and that's for them, for mom and dad kind of thing. So kind of fun. But that player has the welcome video and the tour of campus, and then our fight song. As soon as you open it up, it plays for you, kind of thing. And then we also have stickers in it, and a pennant, and socks. And so it's kind of a very feel good, very event driven type of admit packet. So emotional, and it really is something where we stand out. And I think, we've done our research on that, and we've done surveys to kind of see the responses of students and families and things like that. And, we have people that are tagging us on Instagram. So we have these great pictures of students and their admissions packets, or like they're taking pictures of them in their socks. Or we had one father who is a TV anchor out of Boise. He shared it on his like official news channel, and saying like, my daughter, she's still not sure where she's going to go. However, the University of Idaho, wow, look at this. And so he shared that on his professional network in our number one market. And to have that was just a beautiful thing. And so
gotta love that earned media. Gotta love it. Yeah,
exactly. The other part of that too is we work with Zini, and we're a Zini client, and students we're interacting with students there and all that. But students are saying like, I just got my acceptance package and it's actually the coolest thing ever. That's a quote. And another student was like, I know, I love that the U of I does that. And so we're seeing students kind of talk about that. And, one even put their acceptance. We had like the fold out. They put it in their locker. People will come when they come and visit. Someone wrote via email, "Dear admissions, not sure who's in charge of this acceptance packet sent out to high school seniors, but my high school senior was overwhelmed by the letter, the video, the pen, the socks, the keychains. It's just fantastic. His mother and I are Vandal alum. His sister is a Vandal alum. His brother is a Vandal sophomore. And not to mention his grandparents, aunts, uncles, and cousins. When we played the fight song, we all sang and clapped and chanted. Terrific job, U of I. My boy is ready."
What a moment. You really did create that emotional connection. This sounds expensive. How did you convince whoever you needed to convince to fund a project like this? Because that's a big investment.
Well, and I think that the key word there is investment. We always view what we're doing as an investment. We're always going to have those, we go back to that 60-20-20 population that I mentioned. The bottom 20 are always going to, well, how much does that cost? That's going to, I could have done something different. And the thing is, yeah, we could have. But what we did is we made a case for a return on investment. We felt we could show that, like the earned media and the excitement and changing of what our yield would be on students would be significant enough to do it. And we made a case for it. Our president at the University of Idaho, President Scott Green, he's very supportive on initiative like this. We have to show the ROI, and we did. And to a testament of it, it's helped with our record classes. And so that's kind of why we continue to do that. Again, we survey students at our admitted student day to kind of talk about their response to it. And so the responses to it have been overwhelmingly positive. Like I said, we had it shared on Facebook within our number one market in Boise. We have people that are literally coming to visit and saying, "I'm here because of this." And so to kind of have that not only earned media, but earned attention and people just talking about it. And it's just something that stands out. And frankly, we're not really competing against other universities. We're competing against other traditional marketing. We're trying to stand out in the
All
world
of us,
of
the whole world wants the same eyeballs that we want. The whole world.
exactly.
Every
So
brand, yeah.
that's what we're trying to do. And I think we've done a good job on it. And, the thing is, as we expand out more, athletics is kind of like, well, we want to help out for next year.
Cool.
And we've had stuff from like a bookstore. We want to connect with you and we'll help, do some things. And so I think, again, it's one of those things kind of going back to the campus map. Yeah, it might be a little expensive, but it's something that's of value. And, having a virtual tour or having an admissions packet like this stand out, it stands out and it helps everyone. Again, going back to the all tides raise all ships kind of mentality. And so to have one big budget, yeah, it's difficult, but if it's shared in multiple areas, it's more feasible that way, I suppose.
That, I think, is what's really, really impressive about this, that you've been able to bring all different kinds of parties to the table, and not just for feedback, but to pony up and contribute some money to make some big things happen, which so kudos to all of you for seeing the value in that and making that happen. So it sounds like with this project, you were really focused on changing that yield. How many of the admitted students can you convert to an actual enrolled student at Idaho?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Is that really where you've been able to find your success in these largest incoming classes? Is it that change in yield that's been the thing that's made that happen for you?
Yeah, I think it's a change in yield and it's a change in the volume of applications as well.
So you've been able to generate at the top of the funnel as well.
Yeah, definitely.
Very
I think,
good.
The virtual tour is an example of kind of where we're changing the top of the funnel, and then the admissions packet is really what's kind of changing towards the bottom of the funnel, more of that yield, like you were saying. And so we're really, it's hitting all cylinders. It's hitting all aspects of the funnel. And that, I think, is really, really important.
As the program chair of EduWeb Summit 2024, I'm thrilled to invite you to Philadelphia, July 9th through 11th. With an emphasis on actionable insights, we're offering free workshops, exceptional networking, and content for marketing, communications, advancement, enrollment, web, and digital professionals. All of it focused on relevance, ROI, collaboration, and our industry's unique challenges. Application podcast listeners receive $150 off with promo code Allison24.
In addition to those large incoming classes, I think the other things that kind of stand out is we're increasing our out-of-state students. We're up since 2019.
That's not
38%. Our new first-year students since 2019 is up 30%. Our first gen is, and this is what I think is really just amazing. So the University of Idaho is the flagship land-grant university of the state of Idaho. We've increased our first-gen students since 2019 by 100%. 60% of our incoming class is first-gen now, as of last year. And so I think that's a real testament to not only are we growing enrollment, but we're meeting the mission of the University of Idaho.
And it's not just these projects or tactics. To be doing that, you must be crafting messages that are really resonating with these different and new audiences for all of you, whether it be out of state or first gen. So tell me about that. What's been your approach to the actual content, to the messaging that's being received by these audiences?
Well, I think we kind of touched on it earlier about that collaboration piece. What I think we do a really good job on is what I kind of illustrate as the left hand and the right hand, the marketing and recruitment side. I think we're all on the same page now. We are enhancing each other's work. And because of that, that's where we have some amazing recruitment staff that are going out and having those one-on-one conversations. But we're driving, my team in the marketing lane are driving people to visits and driving people to come talk to them, or, come to those college fairs or come to the high school visits, or We even do, I think one of the great things that we've done too is we've done a program called Enroll Idaho. And that's basically, we branded a van and we literally
Yeah.
drive to high schools in the state and we talk about the University of Idaho. What we're really talking about, again, that land grant mission, we're talking about why you should be an educated student, why you should go to college and the benefits of it and kind of the return on investment. Because, I think in the landscape of higher education, people are like, is it worth it? Is it of value? And one
Yeah,
of the big messages that
definitely. Yeah.
one of the big messages that we do here, we are 4-time in a row best value, #1 public in the West for value in U.S. News rankings. And so we talk about the value, but we show it. We back it up. We have amazing scholarship programs, both in-state, out-of-state, and even international. And I think that's where we want to make sure that a student's not going to go into major debt to go to college. It's not a good thing. And students are more savvy about that and they're more aware of that and their parents are too. And so we talk really a lot about the value of the University of Idaho. And I think that's just been our real big key success where we show the value in not only our marketing messages, but it comes down to our scholarship and financial aid awards as well. It's really important to lead with a big statement, but then when you get there, for an in-state
has to be
student,
real.
It's super affordable and it is real. And as students, the word of mouth, that's where the word of mouth comes into play too, is, I'm at an amazing place and it's actually pretty affordable. And then they tell people and that's kind of where, we're seeing our growth is people are happy there.
That's the best marketing there is. I always say the student experience is the best marketing opportunity. It's worth so much. That word of mouth you're talking about is worth so much more than any ad campaign you or I could ever run, right? Any project that we could initiate out of our teams, like that, you can't buy that. That a happy student is the best thing for marketing.
Yeah. And I've kind of I've been in higher education for 24 plus years now. I'm not here to enroll a student. I'm here to graduate a student. If they're not happy, they're going to tell 10 other people that they're not happy about it. But if they are happy about it, they're going to share pretty far and wide that they're having a great experience. And again, that affordability factor and all the things that are really good messaging to talk about.
Yeah. And these are just great projects that you guys have been able to come together on. And what I like about the projects you've shared as examples is they feel like they fit your brand. It feels like it fits the experience of Idaho. They're not random. Do you think you could walk us through sort of step by step an example of a particularly successful campaign? Like, how did you start with initiating collaboration among different departments all the way through, getting it out to students and being able to measure if it's working or not?
Yeah, I think it's really just kind of coming together and having those conversations about shared goals. Where do we want to go? Kind of the next steps and things like that. And really, what I think we do a really good job on, at least with my team, is we're very transparent on what we're doing and why. Because, oftentimes you'll hear, and I've been in higher ed enough to hear this. I'll hear like maybe I didn't see the marketing. So you must not be doing anything.
Or we're not wasting money on marketing to you, who's not in our audience.
Exactly. You're not our target audience. But but some people just don't.
Yes.
Because they don't see it. They think that, you're just not doing anything.
Perception is reality.
So the perception is reality, I think, is very, very, very key. And so, there's the marketing that we do to the student, to the families and things like that. But really just as important is the internal marketing combination. And so I think what we've done a really good job of being transparent is these are the things that we're doing. Here's the why and what we're doing. Here's how it works. And what I found is, and it even goes back to what we were talking about, COVID and the collaboration and kind of the silver lining is, as people see the things that we're doing, like, oh, well, I want to do that too, because that looks really cool. And that looks like a fun project. And that was effective. And so we're showing our wins. And as people see those wins, we garner more attention and attention by What I mean by that is the people on campus. Like as an example, we work at every single college on campus with their marketing, enrollment marketing. And so that might be one group might have more money to do like a digital project. Others might not have as much fun. So we're doing maybe email campaigns and things that are kind of a little lower budget. Some have seen the admissions packet that I mentioned, and they are like, well, we want to do a college specific packet. But the big thing is we're putting all that into a slate. We have our CRM,
Yeah.
and we're showcasing it internally of all the things that we're doing. We can show the return on investment. We can show who and what and when and where, and even really the kind of the how of what we're doing. And with that, people really just want to, again, you want to get back on that bandwagon with us. And people like to win, and we've been winning a lot. And as we win, we're just getting more people to be on board. You ask like, well, who's helping with the admissions packet and things like that? Well, alums are happy to help on those type of things too, because they're seeing record enrollment. Well, we want to be part of that record enrollment. We want to be part of that bandwagon. How can I help? And so we've had alums that have reached out and said, we want to help partner in marketing, and we want to help with this, and this. And so we get help from outside.
You've really created your own word of mouth in your internal community is what you've done, Adam. And then the projects that you've spun out of that word of mouth has created the student word of mouth. So I love how this is sort of it's all connected, what you're doing. So it's all one strategy. So this is maybe a silly question, but how are you able to show all of these other people what you're doing? I mean, I know the admit packet is making it to the news and being shared on social, so that maybe they're seeing, but how are you holding meetings? Are you bringing people together? And that's how you're sort of spelling out, this is the plan, this is what we're working on?
Yeah, there's a few different things. So if it's a smaller project, so if we start a new campaign, as an example, I'm going to share that on Teams, and I'm going to say, this is a new communications that's going out. This is who it's going to, those type of things. And so we share every time we do something that's maybe a little bit smaller. But our big projects that we do, we're hosting meetings. We're meeting with college deans. We're meeting with different departments. We're having more personal kind of conversations. But we also do our marketing highlights once a week. So on Friday, we always announce, like, this is the successes that we've had. This is what we're doing. This is where something happened this week, and here's the highlight of it. And we're always sharing that. And that goes to our president. And then our president will share that with people. He'll share that in cabinet. He'll share that in his presidential newsletter from time to time. And so there's just a lot of opportunities for us to kind of brag a little bit. And the University of Idaho is not a place where we brag a lot, but we do show, and we're very proud about the things that we do. I think we're very bold on a lot of the things that we do. And to take those next steps and those big picture discussions, it's where we just keep talking about things. Another example of a project I just got through in this past couple of weeks was a campus map, like not a 360 tour, but a campus map, where we need to kind of upgrade that experience. And I've been trying to do that for a little while now, and it kind of comes back to, well, we can't afford it, or I can't, that's not within my budget, kind of thing. But what if you split it a few different ways? Can you do it then? Well, yeah, I think that makes sense. And then you just keep talking and have those conversations. And again, I always go back to the all tides raise all ships kind of mentality, mm-hmm. where it's you just keep talking to people, and you keep talking to people, and you just find different ways to have the conversation. Because a lot of times, I think I've heard no many times, like, well, we'll just ask the question a little bit differently, and that sometimes leads to yes, but it's going to take a while.
Yeah.
And you have to be a little persistent. But ultimately, when you start winning, and people just want to be part of it, mm-hmm. and they just want to be part of that conversation, and then people really, it goes to the trust factor too, where if you're in a trusting environment, then you can say, I don't know if that really worked that well. All right, well, let's go look at the data. What's the data say? Don't go by feel. And we use data all the time. We're always doing our after action reports on a quarterly basis, and that didn't work. Let's not do that. And that's fine too.
Yeah.
Part of being in higher education, we're always learning. And I think that's the mindset that we're always learning, we're always testing things, we're always going to try things out. And if it doesn't work, it's fine.
I just love this combination of sharing but also using data to show. So you're really getting at it both ways, right? People need to be able to see what you're putting in the field, but also understand the data to know what's working and what's not, what's effective and what's not. I've got one more final question for you. This job that we do in higher ed marketing, it's not going to get easier, right? It's not. Our industry is going to remain really competitive one. It's going to be changing faster and faster. So what's your best advice for meeting or exceeding our enrollment goals moving forward?
Just take a step back and take a look at the bigger picture of what's going on in the world and what's going around you. And know that you as one person can't do everything. That's where you really have to rely on others, and you have to create this atmosphere where people want to help you. Because there's no way I would be able to do any of the things by myself. But I know that as we build teams and we build bigger teams onto our teams, we jokingly talking about adopting people on our enrollment marketing team, and we keep adopting people all the time because we want people that want to work with us and people that want to win with us. And I think that's really the big key is finding ways to collaborate with people is just so vitally important because there's so much changing and there's so much, I don't know if at stake is the right word.
It's too much
but
to carry. It's too much to carry on your shoulders alone.
Yeah. And I think you just have to keep having that mindset of let's do this together. Do a lot of things by yourself and be the lone wolf, but you're not going to get as far. And, for us, and I think again, why we're successful is I think we're adapt and we are trying to be proactive. We talked about like FAFSA this year and being an issue. That was one of the first things we knew in the early fall, late summer that this is going to be a problem. We were even looking for next 2025 being an issue. So we're already talking about what can we do for next year. So, and trying not to be reactive to things. And I think we fall into that often where we kind of forget what's the big picture and we see something in front of us that we have to take care of right away. And sometimes you have to, but trying to be more proactive in the approach and really trying to see the big picture, I think is really, really important as well. And just don't lose sight of that kind of aspect. So.
All right, everyone. So what I'm hearing from Adam is be humble, find your team, and don't lose sight of the bigger picture. Adam, thanks so much for joining.
Yeah, thank you very much.
This was really insightful. I really enjoyed especially hearing about all the collaboration that you're doing at Idaho. And thanks to our listeners for tuning in. If you enjoyed this episode, please make sure to subscribe and to review and share it on your networks. The application is part of the Enrollify Podcast Network. If you like this podcast, chances are you'll like other Enrollify shows too. Our podcast network is growing by the month, and we've got a plethora of marketing, enrollment, and higher ed tech shows that are jam-packed stories, ideas, and frameworks, all designed to empower you to be a better higher ed professional. Our shows help higher ed marketers and admissions professionals find their next big idea. And they feature a selection of the industry's best as your hosts. Learn from Jamie Hunt, Seth Odell, Day Kibbolds, Jeremy Tiers, and so many other of your favorite higher ed leaders. Enrollify is made possible by Element 451, the leading AI-powered all-in-one student engagement platform, helping institutions create meaningful, personalized, and engaging interactions with students. Learn more at element451.com.